Here we go. It's the Kopite podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Kopite podcast. It's me, Matt, and I'm joined with Michael Moran. Hi, Mike.
Getting full named on a fucking Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning, actually. Go on, lad. Hit us with the team news. What is it?
Right, so Klopp has made, I think it's 6 changes. And the guy that we thought was going to start against Atlanta, little Taki, is back in the lineup. So the lineup is Alisson, Nico Williams, Phillips, Fabinho, and Robbo. That's the back 5. And it looks like he's gone with a 2 in midfield, so Milner and Gini. And then a front 4 of Minamino, Jota, Salah, and Firmino. So Mane missing out. That's quite a big shock, to be honest, isn't it?
That's, yeah. Obviously, we've seen a few of the rumoured lineups floating around.
Yeah.
And the fact that Mane's not playing, I don't know if that's maybe giving him a rest because he hasn't scored last couple of games, or I don't know. But I'm happy to see Minamino in there. I'm just surprised that it's at Mane's expense. I thought maybe it'd be at someone else's expense, maybe like a Bobby or something like that. But apart from that, pretty happy with the lineup, to be honest.
I mean, good news is that Mane's on the bench. More good news is that Hendo's back on the bench, which is big, having the captain back in the squad in general. And if things don't go according to plan, you could be pretty certain that both Hendo and Mane will get on the pitch. There's also on the bench is Adrian, Curtis Jones, Shimikas, Origi, and Reece Williams. So no Matip either. Is that concerning, or is it that just to give the guy some rest?
I don't know, because you can't get any out of Klopp these days. Every time he does a press conference, he's dead cagey about everything, so you can't even gauge it. But I don't know why. I hope it's not an injury. I hope it's kind of just pacing him and maybe giving him a rest for this one, and then just kind of break up his. Because I think if you play him too often, he's bound to be more susceptible to breaking down. So imagine that's factors into it. I hope that's it anyway, because we can't afford any more injuries. But Phillips and Fabinho, Phillips proved how good he was in the last game he played, and having Fab in there as well. I'm happy to see Neto Williams, because like we said on the last one, like Atalanta, he got singled out a bit, which I don't understand why, because he was okay, but everyone was just okay. So it was just kind of this driven agenda that keeps popping up. But he needs these run of games. Like with Trent out of the team, he obviously probably thought, this is my chance to show what I can do. And I just hope, obviously, that he steps up today and does something good. But I'm happy with the lineup. Obviously, I thought maybe Hendo would start if he's fit enough to be in the 18. I thought he would start, but the fact that he's not, it's good that he's back in the squad. That's the main thing, having him in there. That we can, like you said, maybe half time from Mane and Hendo, and just if we've got a couple of goals, hopefully they can just tick us over to the end and we can get another win on the board.
Yeah, Taki's the one that's. I'm glad Taki's starting, because we were saying in midweek that we want Taki to start, and unfortunately we didn't really get to see much of him. I think he got like a run out last 5 minutes, and he's not going to do much in 5 minutes when we're already 2-0 down. But I'm glad to see him starting. It seems like the kind of game that, and I know we said this against Atlanta, so hopefully it's not a repeat, but it seems like the kind of game that that Taki could find some joy, because don't Brighton play with like a 3 at the back with then 4 in midfield, and it's like 3 centre backs as well. So in theory, if everything clicks for the team, he could find himself with quite a bit of space in between the lines. And Brighton have like big, diminutive centre backs, so his little like nippy nature might do us some good today. But I said at the top of the podcast that I thought it was like Milner, Wijnaldum, and then a front 4. Do you think it's going to be like that, or do you think Taki's going to join in and make it a midfield 3?
That's what I mean. It's hard to call on it, because he could play on the side of a 3 and do it quite well, but I imagine it'll be Millie and Gini sitting, and then a front 4 like you see with the usual 3 plus Jota. So imagine it'll be. I imagine that's just Minamino in for Mane, and then business as. I think Bobby. It's either going to be Bobby or Minamino up top in it, then maybe either of those two again in the hole, and then obviously Jota left, Salah right. I think that's pretty much how it'll line up. But that's the thing, we don't know. So how the fuck are Brighton going to know? So it's going to be ever changing, like you said. They're missing Lamptey as well, which is huge. I think he's class. He's going to be. He could be one of the, well, he's good now, but he could be one of the best in the league in a couple of years' time, because he's really good. But yeah, what's Dan saying here? I think Klopp has just picked the players that are able to stand up straight at this point. Good point. And I think, we just need to I think Klopp being cagey makes us a bit on edge because we want some definitive news about the likes of Thiago and stuff. And I think even on the Henderson thing, he was he was in training and then he done his own separate training. So you can't be like, well, is he fit or isn't he? I think he just wants, he doesn't want to answer the question properly at the minute, does he? I think he's just kind of playing his cards closest to his chest so he can. Yeah, I don't know what the tactic is, but it is a bit frustrating when you're trying to figure out who the fuck we've got to pick from. But that squad of 11 with the subs on there, like as well, Curtis Jones, Tsimikas, Origi, Reece Williams, there's enough quality there on the bench to bring on the big boys if we need them.
Yeah, 100%. And it's I know he's only played once, but it says something, doesn't it, that how we're not worried about Matt Phillips giving his man of the match performance last time he came out for us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Phillips was boss, wasn't he? And I think against who have they got up front? They've got
Liam Walker and Danny.
Yeah, Welbeck. So he's an aerial presence, isn't he? So any balls flying in, and I think from corners as well. Like if you haven't got Verge or Mata, who both aren't there, obviously you need a presence in there. And I think when he was on loan a couple of years ago, in like the Bundesliga too, he was like the most headers in the league, was Nat Phillips. So that says a lot about him. Like he's got that quality aerially, which when we're missing, like I said, the two main guys, Matip and Virgil, are massive. To have him in there just kind of makes you feel more at ease because I don't know if it's me, like harking back to the old Liverpool where I'd always absolutely crap myself when we conceded the corner because I know we'd conceded like pre-Van Dijk. So having just someone in there with a presence who the ball's a magnet to his head, that's what we need in there. So I'm happy to see him in there, and that's the thing because he's not available for Champions League games, is he? So he's not available for that squad. So switching between Reece Williams and Nat Phillips isn't ideal. I don't, if you would have said that to us about a couple of months ago, you're going to have to flip between Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in corresponding games, you would have laughed in someone's face. But the fact that we're doing it and still, obviously we didn't get a result last game, but we're still doing well. We're joint top in the Prem and top of the Champions League group. So that says a lot about how much quality we've got in depth, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like we said, even though it was a shocking performance against Atlanta, Williams didn't do too badly either. He was probably one of the standouts that played quite well. So definitely got a bit more quality at centre back than I guess we thought we did when Van Dijk and Gomez went out. You touched on it before as well. It's a bit concerning that Thiago's still not on the bench, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you read on Twitter, you absolutely can put yourself in fucking a mental prison thinking about when's he gonna be fit, like when's he gonna be back? Because you're just like, because it just seems like I always forget that he played because it seems like he's only been here 2 minutes, he's only played a couple of games, so you just want to get him back in the team. And obviously, when you look back at the tackle from Richarlison, it was a horror tackle. So you can understand why Klopp's being a bit like, right, let's just be a bit more wary with this and just work him back into the team because we don't want to come to a position where he plays him and he's only like 75% fit, then he breaks down again, and then we're up, then he's out for another couple of weeks. There's literally no point. We might as well get him to a point where he's fully 100%, then we can get him in a run of games and we can hopefully go and smash a load of teams in a row with him in the team, just orchestrating it all. Yeah,
I mean, Klopp's shown he's not going to rush players back. I think he's got a history of when a player's injured, he's not back in the lineup until they're definitely 100% like, okay, which is why I'm very happy to see Henderson back because we've heard it from Klopp 100 times. If they're fit enough to be on the bench, they're fit enough to start. So Henderson, sweet, and I'm glad he's taking his time with Thiago because, like you said, you don't want him to come back in and then pull up 5 minutes into a game because he's been clattered. But yeah, so line up one more time. It's Alisson, Neco Williams, Phillips, Fabinho, Robertson, Milner, Gini, Taki, and then Jota, Salah, and Firmino. So we're going to start wrapping it up here. Mick, got any predictions?
I'm going to go. I said I think we're going to keep a clean sheet in the last game and we got beat 2-0. So I'm fancying a clean sheet, though. I am fancying it. I know we're away to Brighton and they can be tricky, but we've got a good enough team there. Like I said, with the players on the bench, we should be all right. So I'm going to go 3-0, I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go for it. How about you?
I'm going to go 2-1. I know that Brighton haven't been on the best form this season, but I feel like when you're playing against Liverpool, form kind of goes out the window just because you don't need to hype yourself up against Liverpool. It happens. You're playing Liverpool, you're playing the Premier League champions, you're going to be hyped for it. So I think they'll they'll be tough to break down. I think they'll be lethal in their own ways. So I'm going to go 2-1 though. I think we'll win. I think we'll bounce back from Atalanta.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We've got a point to prove. Not a point to prove, but like after the last game went horrendously wrong and we didn't have the right setup or the right personnel, obviously, because Klopp decided this was more of a crucial game, and he was right. So I'm hoping we'll see a lot from the get-go, 90 miles an hour everywhere, and I think that's why he's maybe put Minamino in there, fresh legs, just press them all over the pitch, and we can maybe get a goal early doors and crack on from there. But yeah, should be sound. Dan J's gone for the 3-2. Oh, I don't know if I can take a 3-2.
I can't take a 3-2. Especially not being the match before. I don't want to be writing about a 3-2.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there, shall we, lads? Because we've got 22 now. We'll be back after the game with Maz from Seagulls Social. So we'll have a little chat with him hopefully when we've battered Brighton, and then we won't have to. Me and Matt won't be crying in a corner.
Hopefully, there's no rant today.
Oh, I hope not. Anyway, we'll see you about 2:30. See you in a bit.